What is up, everybody? Mikey or Panzernator here, and in this guide I'm going to talk about how to form the United States of Central America, Central American Empire, you name it. So, from the wiki, according to the wiki, the United States of Central America is a formable nation that represents the Federal Republic of Central America that lasted from 1823 to 1841. Its historical capitals were Guatemala City and San Salvador. So basically, how to form it, you have to start off as either Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, or Costa Rica, and to form the republic, reform the republic, or whatever you have with it, you have to conquer all the other ones. So your options are Guatemala, which is pretty powerful, but you're not aligned to have to switch. El Salvador, you're fascist. They're who we're going to pick, by the way. Honduras, democratic, non-aligned, democratic. So I'm going to pick El Salvador because, like Grand Colombia, if you haven't seen that guide, be sure to go check it out. You are racing against the Pax Americana. This lets America intervene in wars, and best case scenario, if that happens, you still win the war before America makes landfall, and you can proclaim it, and then you have a stronger nation to try and wither the might that is a United States that's militarizing, or, and it's a big or, you die. Like, if you want to go back and watch the Grand Colombia guide, there's a time lapse where America just makes the naval landing and absolutely wrecks you. Being El Salvador makes it a little bit easier, being on the Pacific coast instead of the Atlantic coast, or the Caribbean. You start out fascist. You can start justifying as soon as you hit 50 political power, and also you have two decent targets to attack. Guatemala's pretty strong. Save them for last, but, well, I mean, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So Guatemala's pretty strong, and you don't have, you're kind of bottlenecked here. Whereas Honduras is tricky because their capital is in a mountain province, and you either have to directly attack it and break through and defeat them, or you can do what I'm going to try and do, and what I encourage you to do. I don't know if you can win the direct assault, but what you can do is weaken them a little bit by concentrating on this province and then this one, and then you can attack from multiple directions. You're also going to want to do rolling war declarations. That means you're going to justify a war goal on these guys as soon as possible. The second you click declare war on them, you justify on Nicaragua. The second you declare on Nicaragua, justify on Costa Rica and Guatemala. It's supposed to make it faster. You can time it a little differently. It all depends. But basically, there's some RNG involved if you have historical AI focuses off, which I will for the intents and purposes of this guide, because I want to do it, it makes it harder, and I want to show you that you can do it with its harder. However, if you just want to form it and just kind of be left alone, do historical AI focuses. But again, that's personal preference, so let's get to it. Live me is gonna take a little break, and old me, recorded me, or future me. Actually, it's gonna be future me. This is old me. Coming up is future me, voicing over a time lapse of my glorious reconquest of Central America. So before we go, though, we're just gonna look at it. Got some flavor text that I'm probably gonna read later. And yep, you must be fully independent, so you can't just be a puppet of someone. And you need Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. So let's get to it. We're going to invade Honduras. Fun fact, historically, El Salvador and Honduras did go to war based on the results of the soccer game. So make fun of all of your El Salvadorian and Honduran friends. I have both, and I've made fun of both of them for it, or just, joked with them about it. But that's going to be your first target, so without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so here we are with the preview, and notice, well, first of all, I'm going to talk about the army composition. All you really need, I got by with this with just 6 standard infantry divisions. The template that you start off with in El Salvador is only 3 infantry battalions. So first, your priority is to get up to 6 divisions, and then as you have the army experience, add battalions until you get to 20 combat with. focus your research on just, basic infantry weapons and industrial concerns, maybe some land auction if you want, and also the for the national focuses, I decide to go with first and foremost the fascist ones, the ones that give you the most manpower, and then after that the industrial ones, because your singular factory can provide you with enough infantry equipment at first, but you do want a surplus. So you as soon as you have the 50th political power, just start justifying on Honduras, and set your offensive line. And what you're gonna do is that division on the left and the province on the left, both your provinces border that one, so you're gonna focus on that one, then focus on the one north of their capital to kind of surround their capital as much as possible, and then attack from all directions and slowly work them down. Once you get the first nation to fall, all the other ones are just a little bit easier. So here you see me, I'm adding 1 battalion to get up the combat with a little bit, taking those manpower focuses, because 0 manpower is a bad thing. Trying to raise your conscription laws. I do make a bonehead move and accidentally add armament organizer to my war cabinet, and he just helps with civilian to military conversion, which is not something that you want. That was a misclick, but regardless, you want to go as fast as possible. Spanish Civil War, always checking on America to see what they're doing. Notice I'm getting basic infantry equipment as soon as possible. That's where you get your advantages. Artillery, I don't know. I mean, you have to import resources. I do end up importing some steel once I get enough factories. Once I get enough factories for this. But here you see I declare on Honduras, and what you should do immediately is justify on the next nation. I waited probably too long here, especially if you're playing with historical AI focuses off. You gotta go fast. So I would start justifying on Nicaragua like the second. So like I'd leave it paused, or like maybe just let it run for 1 hour, declare war on Honduras, go to Nicaragua, start justifying a war goal, and honestly check on the other countries to see what's going on. It is probably best, to get as many advantages as possible, so hire a field marshal and a general. Don't wait like I did. The construction one is best, and also the factory output ones, but this takes a while. You don't have, too superior of divisions, so there I start attacking them. Just try to probe the mountain to see what I can do, but nothing too crazy. This one, just in terms of gameplay time, I did run mostly on speed 4 and speed 5. Did not take nearly as long as fighting for Grand Colombia in the Grand Colombia guide, but at the same time it's also smaller nations, and the wars are easier to win since you usually border their capital. So this is where the fun begins. They're in a mountain province. We surround them, but they're in a mountain. So you just kind of got to keep attacking and just keep forcing the attack. Add those extra battalions whenever you can. This is, like I said, this is the hardest part. I even create a faction with Venezuela to get them to help out. But yeah, this is going to be the hardest part. Use your command power to do forced attack whenever you can. You lose manpower, but it's worth it. You don't need too much of an excess to beat everyone else. Again, this battle, this one province, this is the linchpin for the entirety of everything. I'm getting the mutiny events, which isn't helping, so I'm having to give speeches and use all my political power. But again, I think you got to go fast. You got to be justifying the war goal on Nicaragua as soon as you conquer Honduras, or as soon as you click declare one Honduras. You got to do those rolling wars. Experiment with yourself, I find that to be the fastest way. Maybe only really justifying 2 war goals at a time is probably best, but just doing one at a time I think works okay. So here I add some more battalions, or see if I can add more. I don't have enough equipment, which is great. mainly because of the strikes. And I noticed Venezuela, is offering a Lend-Lease, which is fantastic. But, and I don't want to just let them drain all of their manpower attacking me. But then again, their capital's in a mountain, so this is a bit difficult for a very, very basic army. So I finished all the fascist ones I want. I created a faction with Venezuela. I have way too much time creating the faction name. I end up calling it the Almost Axis because I think I'm funny. So there we go. I try to invite them to see if they'll help out any at all. Just more bodies to throw at the Hondurans, the Honduras capital, and they did show up, and so all I really do is I just keep on attacking. Have I justified on Nicaragua yet? I can't tell with the time lapse or whatever, but you need to do that faster. So technology wise, yep, just get the ones that help out more. The ones with output are probably gonna be more helpful than the ones with Notice America chose not to re-elect FDR, but the ones that increase output are better than the ones that increase construction speed, considering you don't have any construction speed. But yeah, you just got to keep on attacking. I know it's wasting manpower. It's not something I would do in a normal game, but you have to keep attacking. You have to try and get some of their divisions to just give up. And here we go. I think we're starting to make progress here. Yeah, I should have started justifying this a long time ago. So this was a mistake. Don't wait to justify the war goals. Justify as soon as you declare. Trust me, you have the military capacity to take out Nicaragua. Once you, again, this is the hardest province to take in this entirety of the conquest. But again, justify Nicaragua a lot faster than I did, because every day counts. Every day to beat Pax Americana counts. So, of course, you'll see at the end, Pax Americana does get triggered while I'm invading Guatemala, and I still complete it, but this might have been everything that was the problem. So there we go. Attack Nicaragua. And, well, we got another area. And here you see I boost my divisions all the way up to 20, and that's really all you need. And honestly, if you can do that while you're at war with Honduras, that'll help out a lot. And yep, so you just gotta wait to justify the war goal, build up some metal. I do trade with the Americans. I give up all my civilian factories to get steel because most of my military factories are coming from the National Focus Tree. So there you go. Looking to upgrade or promote my generals. They're not getting the stuff I want. I want infantry expert. And my field marshal did not level up. So that's far from ideal, but it's what you can do. Trying to get better manpower laws because it is at 0. Still, most of my divisions are filled up, but that doesn't leave any leeway in terms of casualties. But yep, so there you go. Just waiting to conquer Nicaragua. Again, this was probably my mistake in this trial. Justify on Nicaragua as soon as you hit declare war against Honduras. That is definitely important to do because every day against every national focus that America picks is fine. I think I start justifying on Costa Rica automatically. I think if you do the first one, it's 200 something days. The second one's 300 something days, and the third one is 600 days. So justify 2 war goals at a time. Maybe that might even be a good strategy for that. No clue if you're justifying the second war goal. Once you declare the first war, if you can then tack on the third one for not too long. This is something I never do in my own campaigns. Trigger the order before the war starts, but since it's a race against the clock. So yeah, just thinking against Guatemala was, back to normal time whenever I was at war. But we should, get on the board with Costa Rica, and we're almost ready to go. So yeah, you see Nicaragua just folded in no time whatsoever. Being such small countries, your provinces are right next to each other. So yeah, there we go. Just focusing on infantry tech and some of that. And we're going to get an Austria-Hungary in this game, so historical AI focus is off. Always enjoyable, even if it does make these formable nations significantly harder to conquer. So there we go. Checking my division design. You don't need to do anything once you have 20 combat with just pure infantry battalions. That's all you need for the scope of this formable nation. So, yeah, again, waits of time in terms of justifying on Nicaragua. And this is where I picked the wrong advisor. That's great. Not crucial to it, but just, I was trying to go fast, and misclicks are gonna misclick. So here I'm, trying to get a third research lot in terms of the national focuses. Checking for what's it called? Poland declared war on Latvia for whatever reason, and just waiting to declare war. So again, this is the wars themselves, apart from getting Honduras to capitulate, are not that difficult. The difficulty is the speed at which you do it because of America. Wait, and there we go, attacking Costa Rica. And America is taking the Pax Americana focus, which means we are going to get naval invaded, which is glorious. So that's always fun. I don't call in Venezuela unless I absolutely need them, because, I don't want them to get more war participation and take the stuff from me. That would be bad. So, look, I can build convoys now. Yay! And yeah, we're the same color as Panama, which really just, that's an affront to everything that is good. Japan won. So I do get distracted by everything, but yeah, so, America's going to get the Pax Americana before we're able to declare war on Guatemala. Oh, no, there they go with the Pax Americana. So, yeah. It's a shame there's no CB war type deal in Hearts of Iron 4. But, again, this all comes on me. That first war justification isn't the greatest. I accidentally turned my main division into my reserve, so I do have to save scum a little bit. No big deal, though. You got to click duplicate and then do everything. I'm trying to make a reserve division to put in my ports just to stop America. Or to, if, at this point I realize Pax Americana is coming, so I try and make precautions to at least not get Venezuela'd, not get absolutely shellacked like I did in my Venezuela campaign, or in the Venezuela forming Gran Colombia guide. There's Pax Americana. Great. Yep. So I do think with the timing of all of this, if you do it correctly, if you justify the second you get 50 political power in the game, don't honestly maybe even put off the first national focus. The second you get 50 political power, justify on Honduras. The second you click declare war on Honduras, justify on probably everyone else. I mean, just don't justify a war goal if the time is more than 300 days. You want to get these war goals fast and one after the other. So we're just waiting for our war justification to come up, which is, fantastic. America's going to be a problem, but you still might be able to beat them into Guatemala and form the nation without American intervention. So there you go. That is it's going all right. We're doing good. I call on Venezuela. Just maybe they'll distract America, and America asked us to stand down. We're like, nah, fam, we got this. And well, the war, is so long as America doesn't pump divisions into Guatemala, you're good. So again, you can avoid all this by playing on historical AI focuses. I like to have that off because, for my own reasons, I just don't like playing with historical focuses on, because it just the chaos of the game is enjoyable to me. But that's neither here nor there. So their capital thankfully is not on the mountain, so you can take it quite quickly. And start getting my garrison, and there we go. So I will be back in just a moment with the proclamation of the Central American Empire. Alright everyone, old me back again, and there are two problems. One, Pax Americana was triggered. We're at war with America. It didn't end even though we took out El Salvador without any American casualties. Two, we're the same color as Panama. We can't have that. So now it is time to proclaim the United States of Central America. Again, it is based on a historical nation that actually existed. So, and you can kind of tell it from the flavor text, so let's get to it. Reconstitute the Federal Republic. The powerful state our nation was a constituent of a century ago had an all too brief lifespan. Now that we have conquered the secessionist states that caused its downfall, we can look towards reconstituting the Federal Republic and begin projecting the power of a united Central America. So let's go. We have all the core states. We're finally a different color than Panama, which is the true meaning. We have a claim on British Mexico, which I'm redoing this segment. I did this segment, and I forgot to mention this, and I felt bad because no one's pointed out yet to this point, although by telling you this, y'all are going to run into it. But I mentioned the Gran Colombia video that you only have core on the Canal and British Guiana, and I said not Curacao. Well, I clicked on Curacao and saw the flag itself, but you have a core on British Mexico. So, you know, since we're at war with America, we're going to be at war with the Allies. We have a rightful claim to this wonderful province of 53,000 people. So, not the best in terms of further expansion, but then again, at this point, our concern is survival. So, let's unpause and read the flavor text. So, here we go. Rebirth of the Central American Empire. With the Salvadorian conquest of the other Central American states, their government has quite vocally defended its actions internationally. Considering itself the lawful successor to the Federal Republic of Central America, it has branded the nations that seceded in the late 1830s as illegal separatist governments, and consistently refers to the recent fighting as their rightful attempts at reasserting control, air quotes, over these territories. Following through on their words, the Salvadorian government has renamed the country to the Central American Empire, and large propaganda efforts are already underway in an attempt at unifying the people, using current global crises as an external threat to rally against. So, what are we going to do now? What do we do at this point? We play a little survival mini game called Stop the American Naval Invasions. We laugh and cry as our ally Venezuela in the almost axis, as I called it, because coming up with names is hard. We're just gonna let Venezuela die. We can't help them. We have to defend ourselves. So, how to avoid the Pax Americana? Well, RNG. You just keep re-rolling. You gotta go fast, or play on historical AI focuses. I personally do not like doing that. I like seeing the chaos of things like Austria-Hungary, and well, Japan already won, so that's reassuring. Poland just ate part of Latvia, because why not? So yeah, we got an interesting world developing, and we can play a bigger part in it than we would as any other individual Central American country. So now our task comes to defeating America / surviving America. We could just live on indefinitely being invaded, but if you're able to pull this off before the Pax Americana, good for you. That is awesome. But anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're going to do with the Central American Empire. We've got a lot of dudes here, and well, it is got a lot more manpower. Got a core in British Mexico. Don't forget, always check for the extra cores when we do a formable nation. Because I noticed the wiki doesn't have all of them listed all the time, and I miss some myself. So, again, let me know if you're more if you were able to form the Central American Republic before America intervenes. Then good for you. You are a better HoI player than I am. But anyways, that is all the time we have for this guide. Well, not all the time, but I feel like this guide is conclusive at this point. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment. I'll try and get back to you as soon and as with an accurate of a response as possible. That sounded weird. I didn't say that as eloquently as I would have hoped. But anyways, that's it for the guide. Let me know if you're able to do this before Pax Americana triggers. Let me know if not, and you end up like me and have to survive against America. But anyhow, that is it for this episode, for this guide. If you enjoyed it, if this was helpful, please, and you have not done so already, of course, please leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and check out my Patreon page. Remember, we big, they can't stop us. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, this is my Panzernator signing out. See ya, nerds.